Close your eyes and picture Hollywood Boulevard at twilight. Neon marquees flicker on, perfume mingles with popcorn, and limousines glide toward Grauman's Chinese Theater, where cement handprints immortalize yesterday's silver screen royalty. Yet beyond that dazzling facade, beyond the gossip columns and studio fanfares, every legend eventually seeks a quieter curtain call. Tonight, with respectful hearts and unhurried steps, we will visit the places where classic entertainers chose to sleep, sometimes under simple stones, sometimes among soldiers, sometimes in locations so secret that no map can guide us. Along the way, you will hear context for each studio, each war, and each recording contract. So whether you first met these names at a matinee in 1940 or on yesterday's Turner Classic Movies Marathon, you will never feel adrift. Think of this narration as an evening stroll through memory, guided by soft lamplight and accompanied by the faint echo of big band trumpets. Our pace will be gentle, our tone warm, our details precise. For the generation that grew up with Philco radios and Life magazine still values accuracy above all. In a moment, we shall step away from Hollywood Boulevard and begin our tour. But keep one image in mind: the brightest star, after its final bow, must still find nightfall like any other traveler. That tender truth is what connects every story you are about to hear. Lee Marvin earned his tough reputation long before cameras rolled. Born in New York City in 1924, he quit school to join the United States Marine Corps and fought through the savage heat of Saipan during the summer of 1944. A sniper's bullet tore through his lower back, an injury that sent him home with a Purple Heart. Yet you never heard him boast. When he accepted the 1966 Academy Award for the offbeat Western Cat Ballou, he thanked crewmen first and barely mentioned fame. At his passing on August 29, 1987, the family honored a private wish: burial at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, Section 7A, among fellow Marines rather than fellow movie stars. His white government stone lists only name, rank, and service dates. Visitors who locate that modest marker often leave pennies or dog tags, quietly saluting the soldier beneath the celebrated scowl. Many whisper respectful thanks. Towering Fred Gwynne may forever live in memory as lovable Herman Munster, green makeup glowing beneath universal television floodlights. Yet the man himself cherished quiet canvas and country air. Born in 1926 and educated at Harvard, he painted whimsical watercolors, sang bass in the Glee Club, and later authored children's books with pun-filled titles, such as The King Who Reigned. Hollywood success bought a small Maryland farm outside Finksburg, where he rode tractors and sketched barns between shoots of sitcoms, and later, character roles like the stern judge in the 1992 comedy My Cousin Vinny. When he died on July 2, 1993, relatives honored simplicity: an unmarked grave behind Sandy Mount United Methodist Church. No polished granite, no mention of monster makeup, just wind in the maples. Fans who undertake the pilgrimage often bring sunflowers or drawings, then walk away unsure they found the spot, which is precisely how Gwynne preferred it. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen in Los Angeles during the hard year of 1926, ascended from wartime assembly line worker to the shimmering face of 20th century glamour. 20th Century Fox publicists promoted her platinum curls in Technicolor musicals like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and Billy Wilder turned her into comedic alchemy opposite Tony Curtis in 1959's Some Like It Hot. Yet fame never softened loneliness. After her death on August 5, 1962, former husband Joe DiMaggio arranged a private funeral and secured Crypt 24 within Westwood Village Memorial Park, a tiny cemetery tucked behind office towers near UCLA. The polished marble niche sits inside the corridor of memories, reachable through a narrow courtyard, fragrant with jasmine. Admirers press lipstick kisses against the stone, staining it rose red despite weekly cleanings. Neighboring crypts now include publisher Hugh Hefner, who purchased the plot in 1992, hoping proximity might grant eternal conversation. Guides still whisper her story. Julius Henry Groucho Marx, eyebrows painted bold and cigar held aloft like a baton, launched anarchic laughter on Broadway before carrying it to Paramount Pictures for madcap features including Animal Crackers in 1930. By the 1950s, he reigned over radio, then television quiz show You Bet Your Life, improvising insults that slipped past censors. Offstage, however, Groucho preferred chessboards and quiet dinners. When kidney failure claimed him on August 19, 1977, cremation followed at Eden Memorial Park in the San Fernando Valley, a modest Jewish cemetery framed by pepper trees. His niche carries a single jest: "I'll be happy to raise you from the dead for a 10% finder's fee." Visitors grin, leave quarters, and sometimes press counterfeit mustaches to the brass plate. The management, ever diplomatic, lets the tributes remain until rain washes comedy. Ashes and coin tarnish into the manicured lawn below. Studio lore claims he wrote it himself. Charles Bronson entered the world as Charles Buczynski in 1921, Ehrenfeld, Pennsylvania, the 11th child of Lithuanian coal miners. He shoveled anthracite by age 10, strengthening the arms later showcased in The Magnificent Seven for United Artists and the vigilante thriller Death Wish for Paramount in 1974. Hollywood Riches purchased a clapboard farmhouse outside West Windsor, Vermont, where he tended apple trees and stacked his own firewood. When he succumbed to pneumonia on August 30, 2003, family chose Brownsville Cemetery, a hillside plot surrounded by maples that blaze scarlet each October. The granite headstone, waist-high, bears simply Charles Bronson, beloved husband and father, nothing about global box office success. Locals still recall spotting him at the post office, nodding politely. Travelers who arrive expecting grandeur instead hear birdsong and cows. Most kneel, leave pennies, and remark that the silence feels truer than any marquee. Martha Raye burst onto Paramount sound stages in the late 1930s, her trumpet-like laugh earning the nickname the Big Mouth. Yet her most heartfelt audience wore fatigues. From North Africa during World War II through Vietnam, she flew with United Service Organization's troops, sometimes landing under fire, sometimes scrubbing in to assist medics with emergency surgeries. Presidents Johnson and Nixon awarded her special citations, and the Green Berets made her an honorary lieutenant colonel. When complications of pneumonia ended her life on October 19, 1994, she was granted interment at Fort Bragg Main Post Cemetery in North Carolina, unique privilege for a civilian entertainer. Her flat marker rests near the Special Forces Chapel. Soldiers walking to morning formation pause to salute. Visitors often leave tubes of red lipstick, symbol of her signature grin, or handwritten thanks for courage that traveled well beyond footlights. Even today, veterans recall her tireless energy between dusty tent shows. If childhood Saturday mornings had a single voice, it belonged to Mel Blanc, born in 1908, Portland, Oregon. Warner Brothers animation director Friz Freleng discovered Blanc's chameleon range in 1937, and soon Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Yosemite Sam were leaping from acetates onto silver screens before Columbia Pictures features. Blanc insisted on separate contract clauses, naming him the Man of 1,000 Voices, a boastfully accurate title. After a car accident in 1961, he even recorded dialogue from a full-body cast, refusing to delay Saturday matinee reels. Passing on July 10, 1989, he chose Hollywood Forever Cemetery, established in 1899 along Santa Monica Boulevard. Visitors find a sleek bronze plaque etched with Porky Pig's farewell. That's all, folks. Candy carrots, toy ducks, and fountain pens accumulate weekly. Studio tour buses pause, engine idling, while passengers smile and imitate the timeless stutter or the cadenced rabbit drawl in gratitude. Béla Lugosi's velvet Hungarian baritone first chilled Broadway audiences in 1927. 4 years before, Universal Pictures filmed Dracula on a frugal set borrowed from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Though typecasting trapped him in endless coffins, Lugosi never discarded the famous cape. On August 16, 1956, he suffered a heart attack in his modest Los Angeles apartment. Friends gathered at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, the same grounds that hold Cecil B. DeMille, and honored his last request, burial in full Dracula regalia, complete with medallion and sweeping collar. His granite marker reads simply, "Beloved Father." Yet mourners still tuck plastic fangs, tiny garlic bulbs, or program booklets from revival screenings into the nearby hedge. On autumn nights, the wind rattles palm fronds overhead, sounding uncannily like distant bat wings. A final theatrical flourish the actor might have scripted himself. Film historians note that the costume came directly from the 1927 Broadway wardrobe trunk itself. Long before Starfleet's hopeful voyages, Gene Roddenberry flew B-17 bombers for the United States Army Air Forces, then joined Pan American World Airways as an international pilot. Writing pulp television westerns at Desilu Studios gave him freedom to dream. And in 1966, NBC premiered Star Trek, produced on Stage 31 at Paramount. Its diverse crew and peaceful message resonated across turbulent social climates. When Roddenberry died on October 24, 1991, widow Majel Barrett sent a symbolic portion of his ashes into orbit aboard Space Shuttle Columbia in 1992, making him the first entertainment figure literally scattered among stars. Additional remains launched deeper into space aboard a Pegasus rocket in 1997. No headstone exists. Instead, fans step outside on clear evenings, locate the Milky Way, and remember a writer who believed exploration would unite rather than divide humanity. The life of Hunter Stockton Thompson unfolded like one long, high-octane headline. From his Louisville youth through rollicking Rolling Stone dispatches that defined gonzo journalism. His book, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, published 1971, blended fact, hallucination, and social critique with literary flair reminiscent of Mark Twain. Residents at Owl Farm, a rugged spread near Aspen, Colorado, allowed pistol practice at dawn and typing binges at midnight. After declining health and depression, he ended his life on February 20, 2005. Per instructions, close friend Johnny Depp financed a memorial cannon, 153 feet tall, modeled on Thompson's double-thumbed fist logo. At sunset, the cannon fired his ashes skyward amid red, white, and blue fireworks. Locals felt the boom echo off the Rockies. For followers, That smoke plume embodied an unyielding demand to live loudly, write honestly, and fear no authority at any altitude. Guests later sang ballads beneath swirling sparks. Carrie Fisher first appeared on screen opposite Warren Beatty in 1975's Shampoo. Yet global recognition arrived 2 years later when she donned Princess Leia's white gown for George Lucas and 20th Century Fox. Away from the Death Star, she wrote sharp novels like Postcards from the Edge and spoke openly about bipolar disorder at a time when Hollywood avoided the topic. After her sudden cardiac arrest on December 27, 2016, family cremated her and placed the ashes in an enormous porcelain urn shaped like a bright green Prozac capsule, a playful acknowledgement of medication that steadied her life. The urn rests beside Mother Debbie Reynolds at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Hollywood Hills. Visitors leave handwritten affirmations promoting mental wellness. Some tie white ribbons around nearby branches. Fisher's legacy reminds older listeners that courage sometimes hides behind wit, and that candor can outshine even a galaxy's worth of special effects under the California sun. Luke Perry, born Coy Luther Perry III in Mansfield, Ohio, 1966, became teen heartthrob Dylan McKay on Fox Network's Beverly Hills 90210, a primetime drama that captured early 90s youth culture. Later, he voiced cartoon cameos, appeared on Broadway, and portrayed pragmatic Fred Andrews on the modern series Riverdale. Away from soundstages, he purchased a Tennessee farm, planting hardwoods and raising cattle alongside his children. After a massive stroke on March 4, 2019, Perry's remains were placed in an infinity burial suit, a biodegradable garment woven with mycelium designed to consume toxins and return nutrients to soil. The private gravesite, believed to lie within the family acreage near Van Leer, remains unmarked to discourage intrusion. Ecologists cite the decision when discussing greener funerary practices. Fans now send packets of native wildflower seeds to environmental charities, continuing the cycle Perry hoped would flourish long after syndicated reruns fade. Nature, he felt, forgives everything. Jim Morrison studied classical poetry at UCLA before electrifying audiences as lead singer of The Doors. Elektra Records house band from 1967 to 1971. Seeking anonymity, he moved to Paris in the spring of '71 and roamed Père Lachaise Cemetery, final home of Chopin and Oscar Wilde. Found dead in his bathtub on July 3, 1971, he was interred there in a modest grave that quickly became a magnet for rock pilgrims. Graffiti, whiskey bottles, and guitar picks accumulated until caretakers installed metal barriers and a full-time guard. The Greek inscription on the later headstone reads, "True to his own spirit." Chosen by his father, a retired United States Navy admiral. Tour guides often apologize for the clutter, yet older visitors recognize in that chaotic shrine the unfinished energy of 1960s counterculture. Rain washed paint away repeatedly, but verses returned overnight. David Bowie, born David Robert Jones in post-war Brixton, 1947, reinvented himself from folk troubadour to glam alien Ziggy Stardust, always one step ahead of musical fashion. Albums for RCA, including Heroes and Let's Dance, sold millions, yet he guarded private life fiercely. Diagnosed with liver cancer, he completed Black Star, released January 8, 2016, his birthday, then died 2 days later. Following Buddhist tradition, family quietly cremated him and scattered ashes off the Indonesian island of Bali during a dawn ceremony led by local monks. Exact coordinates remain undisclosed, honoring his wish for no parting, no fuss. Devotees now collect seawater from Balinese beaches, play portable turntables at sunset, and let melodies mingle with surf. Record executives who once chased trends acknowledge that even in death, Bowie choreographed the final scene with meticulous grace. He left instructions denying any public memorial, concluding that the work should whisper louder than any statue erected.